Hey everybody, and well, today we've got yet more news on Shamima Begum, and for those of you who don't remember who Shamima Begum is, or have been living under a rock for the past couple of years, Shamima Begum was formerly a British citizen. When she was 15, decided to take it upon herself, with two other school friends, to leave the UK and fly to Syria on their own to join ISIS, to marry ISIS terrorists, to join in with the attempt at a global caliphate. They all succeeded in finding partners, however, unfortunately, one of her schoolmates was killed and another has been considered missing. Shamima had 3 children, all of whom have died subsequently due to various factors. It was a very famous case and people were trying to find her for years, until suddenly she was found by the Times at a Kurdish facility in northern Syria. She was interviewed, and it was the result of this interview that led to her having her citizenship revoked, mainly because she also happened to have Bangladeshi citizenship on her father's side, although Bangladesh have been denying that she does have dual citizenship, but it's pretty clear that she does. Otherwise, the stripping of her citizenship could not possibly have happened. In this interview, she claimed to not have any regrets, and also that she was not fazed by seeing decapitated heads in bins. Yes, this is definitely the type of person that you want back in your own country. Opinion has been sharply divided over her, for obvious reasons. The left will defend her and say that she has a right to a fair trial in the UK for some reason, whereas people more on the right will say that actually no, she doesn't deserve to come back to this country. She committed treason, therefore she should stand trial in the place where she actually committed her crimes. The crimes that she'd committed in an act of war, and that was in Syria. And that because she betrayed this country, she doesn't deserve to be British anymore. Obviously, for those of you who have seen my videos, you know that I fall in the latter camp. I believe that she should be tried in Syria, and that her citizenship should be revoked, and she shouldn't come back because, as is another thing that people say, she is a security risk. The left will say that she's not a security risk, that she is remorseful, and that she only wants to live her life and not to bother anybody and not to be bothered by anybody else in return. The reason why we say she can't come back is because, well, it turned out, according to witnesses on the ground by native Syrians, she was actually part of the morality police in the ISIS state. She would go around with an AK-47 and police people. She would tell them to be proper Muslims. In fact, there's one famous story where she told some woman to not wear trainers with her usual Islamic garments, and the woman turned around and said, "If I can't wear trainers, why are you wearing trainers? If you're a normal person in Syria under ISIS, you can't wear trainers because that's haram. However, if you've got the AK-47, it's halal." And Shamima only started to say that she regretted her actions and regretted her decisions after that initial interview, when being honest wasn't working out for her, when people actually were shocked at the things she was saying. And that was probably something that her lawyers were saying to her in order to appear more PR friendly to the British public and to the international public at large. And people who support her will say that she's been groomed and that she didn't know what she was thinking when she was 15. But the things that we know about her being a very bright student, intelligent beyond her years, even at the age of 15, suggests to us that she came to her opinions via her own way. And when she joined ISIS and became part of their morality police, she was also online trying to groom other people, possibly other children, into becoming members of ISIS. So how can we have this person in our country potentially grooming the next generation of ISIS terrorists? Especially as MI5 has stated that there's no guarantee that they'd be able to keep track of her. Yet we're constantly told that, oh, don't worry, it'll be fine because all the other people who came back from ISIS are being monitored by MI5. Well, maybe some of them, but there's no guarantee that they will be monitored in the future. So then Sajid Javid decided to strip her citizenship, which was a very ballsy move from the Conservatives. And this brought accusations of racism, that if you're brown, you're not truly British. This could be a precedent of them stripping people's citizenship at will. Of course, nothing of the sort has happened. It's only happened to people like her who are dual citizens who have betrayed the country. But of course, it's nonsense. Sajid Javid himself is not white. In fact, he is a lapsed Muslim, for want of a better word. I think he's of Pakistani descent himself, as opposed to Bangladeshi. So it's clearly not a race thing, although they will try and make it out to be a race thing, because Islam is apparently a race, even though it's not, because her own husband is a white Dutch convert. And then what proceeded was a lengthy legal battle. But at first, things didn't look good for those of us who don't want to see her back. The appeals court allowed her to come back to fight for her citizenship, which made us worry that potentially she could come back here and never leave, and could set a dangerous precedent for traitors in ISIS and other terrorist outfits all over the globe who are British, that it doesn't matter what crimes you committed, you'll be okay. You can just come over to the UK, you might just get a few years in jail, a few months, and you'll be let out. However, last week, the Supreme Court of all places, decided that actually no, she is too much of a security risk and that therefore she has to stay where she is in Syria. And this is from CNN. The UK Supreme Court ruled Friday that ISIS bride Shamima Begum cannot return to the United Kingdom to appeal the revocation of her UK citizenship. The President of the Supreme Court, Lord Robert Reid, said that the UK Court of Appeal made 4 errors last year when it ruled that Begum should be allowed to return to the UK to carry out her appeal. Begum was 15 years old when in 2015 she left the UK with 2 school friends to join ISIS in Syria. She was stripped of her British citizenship by then Home Secretary Sajid Javid on February 19, 2019, upon being discovered in a northern Syrian refugee camp. According to Reid, the Court of Appeal was mistaken in ruling that Begum's right to a fair hearing should prevail over other competing rights. The right to a fair hearing does not trump all other considerations such as the safety of the public, Reid said. The UK Court of Appeal last year ruled that Begum should be granted leave to enter the UK for her appeal because otherwise it would not be a fair and effective hearing. Reid added that the Court of Appeal did not give the Home Secretary's assessment of the requirements to enter the UK the respect it deserved, adding that the court made their own assessment of the requirements despite an absence of relevant evidence. The Supreme Court also ruled that Begum's appeal against the revocation of her UK citizenship should be postponed until she can participate without public safety being compromised. In his judgment, Reid said Begum is currently being held at a camp in Syria. This is not a perfect solution as it is not known how long it may be before that is possible, he said. There is no perfect solution to a dilemma of the present kind, Reid added. The decision to revoke Begum's citizenship has come under fire from human rights campaigners and legal experts alike, who argue that the revocation rendered her stateless and compromised her right to a fair appeal. And that's the article. So where do we start? Well, first off, we can't give her a fair trial because of where she is and also the threat she poses to the country, because she could enter this country and then disappear. It's not hard for people to disappear, to go undercover and to live their lives without the police, without MI5 or any other security organisation finding them. Although many terrorist plots are discovered, a lot of them seem to slip through the cracks, and next thing you know, there's a terrorist attack in Manchester or London or some other place like that. And with her history and the things that we know that she did in Syria, how do we know that she's not going to do similar things in this country? Sure, she's not going to be able to have an AK-47 and police her neighbourhood, but she can damn well groom and indoctrinate people into her radical beliefs on Islam. Also, there's a lie that she is stateless. She's not stateless. She is a Bangladeshi citizen as well as British. Otherwise, the British government would not have stripped her citizenship. I remember just before his reconversion, Mufassal Islam was saying that she's shit. Britain is to blame for what Shamima Begum did. But of course, we're not to blame. We can't stop every person from becoming radicalised or deciding that they want to be ever more conservative, ever more radical in their beliefs in any given religion. We can't stop them. Ultimately up to them as individuals, isn't it? And I don't see how she is shit, because she left this country to do things in another country, to join another rogue state. Maybe you can blame her parents for not keeping a watchful eye on what she was doing online or what she was believing in and things like that, but not the British state. Not the British people. We didn't do anything wrong. What could we do? She committed her crimes in Syria, therefore she must be imprisoned in Syria if and when found guilty of a crime. And who is to say that she is telling the truth, that she is reformed, that she has regrets, that she just wants to live a quiet, normal life, and that she's as British as the rest of us? If you look at recent pictures of her, she's been desperately trying to come across as somebody who's just like you and me. She's even got a Union flag cushion. She's totally British. But it just comes across as cynical. It's PR. It's an attempt to give her an image of a wrong British citizen who is a British citizen no more. And where are these human rights activists for all the people in this country currently who have been arrested by the police for things that they say online and in public, such as Count Dankula, for example? Where are these people? Oh wait, they shunned him because they viewed him as a Nazi. This is where their priorities lie. They would rather help a person who is a known terrorist over the people who are being, well, for want of a better word, oppressed. This is how subverted and messed up the world is right now, where Human Rights Watch would rather support Shamima Begum than somebody like Count Dankula. It really is just clown world at this point, isn't it? But anyway, I'm going on with myself. I'm going to leave it there, and until next time, it's been your boy, guys, and I'll see you later.